Terrific game yesterday. I mean, look, I've said it before, Rob. I'll say it again. The bubble is a strange place, but I got to admit, the bubble's been a great place. The basketball has been phenomenal as far as the competitiveness. The games have been close. The seedings in many cases don't seem to matter. We've seen what Portland's done and how they ran their way into the playoffs. They're giving the Lakers a good series. I picked the Lakers in 6 in that one. Tonight, of course, they play game 4. Lakers up 2-1. And the Clippers, who you and I have both picked to win the championship, and I think are both still confident of that. However, they got their hands full.
I picked them in 6, so I knew that Cole would lose a couple of games. You never like the way you lose, Chris, especially in the playoffs. It doesn't matter if you lose on the buzzer beater or you get blown out by 20. You know what I mean? There's you're never going to be happy, and it feels like everything shifted. The Clippers are not behind. They're not in a hole. They don't have to dig themselves out there. It's even. Now it's 2 out of 3, and they'll get there. But it was a great game by Dallas. They needed it. They were fighting for their lives.
Without Kristaps Porzingis, their second-best player, Luka Doncic playing on a bum ankle. And
it didn't look that bum to me. You know what? You can sit there and tell me that he's on a bum ankle, but I think
it was a legitimate injury. But he played through it. He played through it, as we've seen guys do. I'm not saying he's Superman, but it was an injury. I think you could see that. He was at times ginger on it, came down hard on it a few times, but obviously overcame it with a great game. 43 points, 17 rebounds, 13 assists. Join Magic Johnson as the first player to ever or the only players to have multiple triple-doubles, 2 each, in their first 4 playoff games. But more importantly than all the big numbers he put up, or I should say maybe more spectacularly, was the game-winning shot. And here's Mike Breen on the call.
Back to Doncic. Doncic pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Doncic wins the game at the buzzer! Let's go!
Bang, bang. And LeBron James retweeted that. Bang, bang in his Mike Breen voice. That was what LeBron tweeted. I'm sure he wouldn't mind seeing Dallas win this series. But, Rob, we're going to talk about Luka. And I don't know exactly where you're at on Luka. Obviously, you know he's a good player, but I don't know how hyped you are about him or not. This dude is the truth, and this is not based off of what he did yesterday. It's not based off what he's done in this series. I've been saying it since the beginning of the season, if not before. He is a new age version of Larry Bird.
Now, do you use Larry Bird just because they're white, or is it no? There's no correlation.
No, there's definitely correlation. I'm just going to keep
it
real.
Saying,
you know how I do.
No, but I'm saying
if he wasn't white, I wouldn't be comparing him to Larry Bird.
Okay.
Now there are similarities to his game.
I'm asking.
Though.
But I'm asking because I think, like you wouldn't call him somebody who was black as being a great player. I think most people do that.
A lot of people compare him to James Harden. And there are similarities. Others compare him to LeBron minus the athleticism because their games are somewhat similar. Right. The reason I compare him to Bird are a few things.
Okay.
One, his attitude. He is not afraid of anyone. And let's face it, a lot of times white players can be intimidated by the black players. The league, 75% black. And Bird was not intimidated, never intimidated. And I see that in Luka as well. He talks trash. He's tough, just like Larry Bird was. 2, he's not as good of a shooter as Bird, but as a big man, he's 6'7", 6'8". He is a very good shooter. I know his percentage only like 32% from 3, but the dude can shoot. I'm not saying, again, he's not Bird. He's not Steph or Clay, but he's a good shooter. Handles the rock as a big man like Bird could, although Bird didn't play point. Passes it tremendously like Bird did, can rebound the basketball, isn't incredibly athletic, relatively speaking. You know, doesn't really beat you with his speed, but he's got strength, and he knows how to use his body, use angles, use feints, slights, moves to get his shot off whenever he wants, similar to Larry Bird. So I'm not just throwing out Bird because they're both white, but I'm throwing out Bird because their games do have games and attitudes have major similarities. And he is the first white player since Larry Bird that I can see that I would say he will be in the conversation, or will be in the conversation for best player in the world. Bird, whether you think he was the best player in the world, he won the MVP 3 straight years, but he was certainly in that conversation. Bird, Magic, Kareem earlier in the years, and then Jordan comes in. Luka will be in the conversation for best player in the world, barring injuries, anything like that, for the next 10 years. And so those are the reasons, Rob, that I say he's like a new age version. He's Bird, but he's got the new types of things in his game that the players have today. So I call him a new age version of Larry Bird.
Yeah, he's a great player. That's me. I'm always one. I just want a longer body of work. And sports works out like this. People who don't believe that winning matters. I know you always mock me about it's a short menu, wins and losses.
Well, it amazes me how you drop it sometimes.
No, but you mock me about it. But the difference between like having this conversation, if he misses that 3 and he hasn't made, that was his first one, wasn't it, Chris? Like
first game winning shot. I don't know if it was first game winning.
Yeah.
What was it? Rob G get it. But he was 0 for 10 previously in that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
And had he missed that, I don't know if people are having the same, not that they wouldn't acknowledge what a great effort, Chris, and all that. Do you know what I mean? That's how close it is. Am I right? There's a difference. If he misses that shot, my God.
I totally get where you're coming from. Now, like I said, I was saying this in the beginning of the year.
No, I'm just saying people.
I hear you.
The conversation would not be that today.
Right.
Without the make, because winning is what elevates you. The numbers are great. It's about winning. And when you win, people look at you in a different light, especially, Chris, on this stage. You can make shots during the season, whatever.
Right.
You win when it all matters, when it's the playoffs and everybody's watching, Basketball America's watching, and it changes your perception. The same way that Paul George is in the doghouse because he's on that stage, and he's stinking up the joint. I mean, plain and simple.
Well, I think you make great points, and you're right. We talked about on First Things First this morning, what's his ceiling, or what's his ceiling legacy-wise. And I said, look, ultimately, I mean, he could be a top 10, top 5 player. He looks like he's got that type of ability, but it's ultimately going to come down to winning. And I'll say this, Rob, and I said it on TV. If you had told me at this stage of LeBron's career, second year, third year, even fourth year, anything like that, that after 16 seasons in the league, LeBron was only going to have 3 championships, I would have shouted you down. I would have been like, no way. He's going to have at least 5.
That's how hard it is, right?
Yes. And you were there as I was there that night. He scored 25 straight against Detroit in his 4th season, 22 years old. I never, after seeing that performance, I never would have thought that LeBron would have the experience he had against Dallas in 2011 in the finals. Right. I would have been like, oh, this dude, that shows you the big moment. He ain't worried about the big moment. And I never would have expected that. So your point is well taken in that until Luka looks clutch, he looks like, he's not phased. And I stand by what I said individually. But as far as actually leading a team to a championship, you never know if a guy can do it until he does it.
Exactly. That's all. And that's not to take an ounce away from him, Chris. It's just what the point, the comparison you made to LeBron was exactly that. You would not believe that LeBron would be the all-time finals loser of former MVPs. I don't think
LeBron's third, 4th year. What would you if somebody had said to you in 16 years in the league, LeBron will have
5,
3 championships?
I would thought 5 out of 16 years.
Yep.
That would be a hell of a career. Am I right? All right, let's kick it off with Tony in D.C. You're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Tony?
Fellas, what's going on? Welcome back, Chris.
Thank you,
Glad you had a safe vacation. It's always good to have the team together.
Yes.
Look, man, Chris, I agree with you. I agree with both of you. I think he's definitely on the right track. Because, I think Bird, when he came in the league, he led the Celtics to the biggest turnaround in NBA history.
They went from 29 wins to 61 at his rookie
year.
And he won his second year.
This young man, he's making his name on the biggest stage in the playoffs. Well, I'm with Rob right here where, okay, he's in the playoffs, but he's got to get to some conference finals, some finals. I think definitely he's going to win a couple of MVPs here within the next couple of years, with the older guys kind of leaving the league, and it's just pretty much him and Giannis. Maybe Harden might be in that mix still.
Well, there's always
I think both you guys are right. Both you guys are right. But, yeah, he's on the right track. And I would be shocked if Reggie Jackson got any sleep last night.
Yeah, I hear you, Tony.
You just sat on the fence like it was ridiculous, Tony. Come with a take.
All right.
Right,
let's
Rob?
go.
You know how we play. We do.
Yes. Byron in South Carolina.
I'm messing with you, man.
No, you're on The Odd Couple. We love Tony. You're
Hello,
on The Odd
sir. How you
Couple,
doing?
Fox Sports Radio. Good,
What's
Byron.
up, man?
What's up?
He's eager. Go ahead, bro.
First, I want to say, man, I appreciate the opportunity to talk on the show. I listen to you all a lot. And even sometimes my wife, when she hears me listening to y'all, she be like, stop it.
Stop
From y'all,
it. No, you know what? That's great. That's
Yes,
great.
that is good.
But
That's
I want to
the next
say,
shirt.
man, like,
I'm waiting for
with
Rob to
Luka,
make that shirt.
That's called I'm a woman.
Yeah. But, yeah, with Luka, man, I think he's definitely on the track based on 2 years. He only been in 2 years, and he's in the playoffs his second year. But, of course, we're gonna keep it cool, and we're not going to go too far with it. But he's on the track. But he got to be great, later on, to win championships.
He got to win. He's
got to win, Byron.
Byron,
that's the point that I brought up.
It's a short menu. Let me stop.
It is a short menu, though. I mean, you can talk
not when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, but that's neither here nor there.
He won. He did win. Dre in Michigan. You're on The Odd Couple.
Titles with Aaron.
Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Dre?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Welcome back, CB.
Thank you, my man.
Hey, shout out right quick to Ephraim Salon with that spot-on metaphor he used last week when he was talking about those people that on this apology tour for stuff they said when he said, well, if you don't keep that bullet in the chamber, you don't got to worry about it popping out your mouth. I liked that. So it's about what some people are. They're just showing it. That was deep. That was a good one.
No doubt. Chris, we were talking about the unfortunate stuff with the Cincinnati Reds announcer, Tom Brenneman. And that's
yes.
Brenneman.
Did you know him?
Yeah, I know him.
Because I saw
he's a
people
friend
saying,
of mine.
Really?
Yeah, he's a friend
I
of
saw
mine.
people implying that he used that type of language regularly. I don't,
I mean, for him to say
that
that at the workplace, you know what I'm just.
Yeah.
But he's a friend of mine, so I wound up texting him. I didn't hear back from him, but I did give him a text.
Yeah.
Just to check in. All right, go ahead, Dre. Sorry.
But in regards to Luka, I think it's a little too early right now, only because when we start annoying these guys after 2 or 3 years, I think it kind of diminished that longevity that these guys put in, your Birds and your Magics and your Jordans. They did that over a long period of time. We done saw a lot of people over the years wash out after 2 or 3 years, whether it's injury, on bad teams, or whatever the case may be. So I think it's still a little too early, but the boy is definitely something he's a problem. He's definitely a problem.
No doubt.
And look, we understand that the guys got to do it. But I like to, and you obviously I've done it with Pat Mahomes, and I do it in football and other sports. So I like to, though, compare people. When I see something special, I'm not afraid to go out on the limb and say they can do this or that. And then we'll see if they end up doing it.